with us now, Florida Republican Congressman Michael Waltz, member of the House Armed Services Committee, first ever Green Beret elected to Congress. Good to see you, sir, as always. Excellent reporting by Kelly Meyer from the head of counterintelligence at the FBI. That's a good question. I think we're doing all we can, which seems to be like a little bit of half a sentence to me. Is it that they don't have the manpower, they don't have the funding, or they don't have the political will to do more?
Well, I appreciate the report, Leland, because we need the country to wake up to the fact that we are under a tsunami of Chinese espionage. I hope that the balloon incident was a bit of a wake-up call and a Sputnik moment to that fact, whether it's the balloon, TikTok on 100 million Americans' phones, or Chinese case officers, espionage officers trolling TikTok. To your point on the Bureau, that's one of the things that we're looking to get at from an oversight standpoint in the House is, are the Bureau's resources, are the FBI's resources pointed in the right direction? Are they overly worried about, I don't know, parents at school board meetings who care about their curriculum and not the actual spying that's going on, or the whole task force that was set up over focused on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook, and not the fact that with this kind of data, the Chinese can know if you're a scientist on nanotechnology, where the AI engineers are located, added with some other data, who's in some kind of financial distress or facing bankruptcy, and they can immediately hone in to those that are vulnerable and have their agents apply for jobs on LinkedIn or other job sites that require security clearances. So this is a tremendous tool for them. We need to make sure the FBI is focused in the right direction. But then as a country, we really need to kind of, again, have a wake-up call to what's going on here.
That goes to the larger point, right? Because there's so much more we could do, right? You could revoke the visas of all Chinese students because we know they cover a lot of their intel officers as students at America's top universities. Right. 1938, you would not allow German students to come study aerospace engineering in the United States. You just wouldn't have done that. We could go ahead and start kicking out a lot of the Chinese illegal intelligence operatives who are running these fake police offices and other situations. But we're not doing that. I'm talking about members of the House. You talked about whether the House has the will and the political will to do this. Kevin McCarthy, who was going to go to Taiwan and land in Taiwan and have a meeting with the Taiwanese president to show solidarity, just announced that he's not going to. Instead, he's going to meet them back in the United States. How can you ask Americans to stand up to China when it appears as though there's political pressure not to?
Well, look, I don't know that that's a fully fleshed out characterization. Taiwan's in the middle of its presidential election. The current president is termed out. And I think it would be much more advantageous and much more fruitful to go when the new president of Taiwan comes in January. Point one, point two, McCarthy just put in a select committee focused on all of these issues to put a spotlight on them. And this was on the heels of years of which I was a member of, a China task force. But to your final point, Leland, I think we need to begin describing this what it is. And this is a new Cold War. The Chinese Communist Party entered into it years ago against us, and we're just now waking up to it. And if we thought about it that way, we talked about it that way, yeah, we wouldn't have let German students study here in the 40s. We wouldn't have let Russian students study here in the 60s. And nothing against those kids, but they have no choice. If their government tells them to take something, they have to do it. But the difference with those conflicts and now is everybody is drunk on Chinese money. Hollywood, academia, Wall Street, the sports industry. And so everybody's willing to turn, too many people are willing to turn a blind eye because their balance sheets are benefiting from it.
Yeah, and on top of that, American companies with deep Chinese ties, NBA, Apple, Tesla, AMC, all these people at the top. I just got a note from one of our very senior producers, DJI Drones, Chinese company, all the consumer drones in America that are flying around. We've got the cranes at all the ports and the like. It's an uphill battle for sure. Congressman, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you.
When you see Made in China, put it down. Thanks, Leland.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.